Front, here are the final polls. Bloomberg has Clinton up by 3. Investors Business Daily has Trump up by 2. CBS News, Clinton by 4. Fox News, Clinton by 4. In the battleground states, Quinnipiac has Clinton leading by 1 in Florida. Emerson, Trump up by 7 in Ohio. New York Times has it a tie in North Carolina. Remington Research has Trump up by 1 in Nevada. In New Hampshire, there's chaos. Emerson has Clinton up by 1. WMUR has Clinton up by a whopping 11 points. Somebody will be embarrassed tomorrow. Now, 4 years ago, a man named Nate Silver correctly predicted every single state in the Obama-Romney race. Here's what he says about Clinton-Trump.
We show about a 3-point lead nationally for Clinton, and she's about a 2-to-1 favorite. The Electoral College math is actually less solid for Clinton than it was for Obama 4 years ago. Ahead in states totaling 320-some electoral votes. Clinton has about 270, so she's one state away from potentially losing the Electoral College. You'd rather be in her shoes than Donald Trump's, but it's not a terribly safe position.
Again, Talking Points is not going to make a prediction on the presidential race, but I will tell you that the Trump folks are hanging their hopes on voters who shun the polls, who do not participate in that kind of thing. Hillary Clinton is pinning her hopes on a high minority turnout. According to the latest Fox poll, Mrs. Clinton's winning blacks 89-4, Hispanics 63-30. Now, there's no question that we the people have learned an awful lot in this campaign. The WikiLeaks hacking has exposed corruption in the press far beyond what we knew. Both CNN and NBC News apparently have extensive ties to the Democratic establishment. And over the weekend, we learned that Washington Post columnist Dana Milbank, who the Factor has scrutinized before, apparently collaborated on a column with a DNC staffer named Tyler Likens. Mr. Milbank did not mention that to his readers. The press corruption is part of the reason Donald Trump continues to say the whole process is rigged, from the FBI investigation of Hillary Clinton to the campaign reportage to the actual voting. And today, the Daily Caller is reporting that Clinton confidant and Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe used a mechanical auto pen to sign thousands of letters allowing perhaps as many as 60,000 convicted felons to vote. If that's true, it's very disturbing. 2014, the U.S. Senate race, which Democrat Mark Warner won, was decided by 18,000 votes in Virginia. Summing up, dirty campaign, unpopular candidates. The Factor has risen above the fray. It provided you with reliable information throughout. We're proud of it, and it will be fascinating to see how Americans respond tomorrow. That's a memo now for the top story reaction. Joining us from Charlottesville, Kyle Kondik from the University of Virginia Center for Politics. And from Washington, Bob Cusack, editor of The Hill magazine. Now, Mr. Cusack, I've been reading all the pinheaded Washington establishment analysis, and every single one has Hillary Clinton winning, many of them big. So I'm just wondering, is the fix in Washington? Do they know something that Investors Business Daily doesn't know, LA Times doesn't know?
I think part of the reason, Bill, is that many in the media are rooting for Hillary Clinton. We've seen that with a lot of the WikiLeaks information.
Yep.
Endorsements, newspaper endorsements, overwhelmingly for Hillary Clinton. So I think that's part of it. And also, she does have more paths to 270 than Trump. Can Trump win? Absolutely. But he is going to have to win a lot of these close contests. Not all of them, but most of them.
When you say they want Hillary Clinton to win, are you talking about both Democrats and Republicans in D.C.?
Definitely Democrats, definitely part of the media, and definitely some Republicans that they've said, some Republicans have said on the record that it would be better if Trump gets pummeled and then the party can start to recuperate. If it's a close loss for Trump, well, then Trump could blame the Republican establishment, and that could lead to civil war.
So there is, an element of the Republican establishment doesn't want Trump. All right, now down in your neck of the woods, Charlottesville, Virginia, have you guys called the race yet down at the University of Virginia Center for Politics? Have you? And
yeah, we put out our final we put out our final crystal ball prediction today. We have Clinton at 322, Trump at 216. I think that most people are calling or suggesting that Clinton is the favorite because I think that's where the data lead. I think that, most of the national polls that you cited have shown Clinton up 3 or 4 points. And I think most of the state level polls point us toward Clinton being the leader. Now, a lot of the states are pretty close, particularly I'd say Ohio, North Carolina, and Florida. The good thing for Clinton is that she could actually afford to lose all 3 of those states and still win the election.
All right, so
that's not to say that she's at 100.
You have 322, 216. How did you do last time with Obama-Romney?
We got all but 2 states right.
Okay, so you were pretty accurate back then. What about my prediction that GOP will hold the Senate?
So we have the Senate at 50-50, which means if you think the Democrats will win the White House, we'd have Vice President Tim Kaine breaking ties, but 50-50 and 51-49 either way are really all possible. There are a lot of real toss-up Senate races.
Okay, I think the GOP is going to do better, Mr. Cusack, in the Senate races because many Americans who will vote for Hillary Clinton don't really like Hillary Clinton, and they do what they do in Massachusetts. They vote liberal in the House, and then they want a conservative governor to keep their eye on the liberals. And I think that you're going to see that, and you're going to see that the Senate is going to go GOP. Does that make sense to you?
It does. I mean, I think it's a toss-up. It could go 50-50, 51-49. It's going to be a closely divided Senate. Without a doubt, Republicans are going to keep control of the House. So if Hillary Clinton is elected,
she's still got the House in front of her. She's still got that. Right.
Yes, exactly.
Do you believe, Mr. Kondik, based upon all of your analysis, that Americans are going to be happy no matter who wins on Wednesday?
I think that about half the country will be pretty happy and half the country won't be. I do wonder about, what the fallout from the election is, particularly if it's really close, if we have recounts, that sort of thing.
It's gonna be nasty.
The other thing, too, is that if Clinton does, in fact, win, I think you're both right that the Democrats really don't have much of a shot to win the House. She may be the only Democrat who serves her entire time as president without having control of the House for any time while she's president. And that tells me that if you have, a Democrat in the White House, maybe a split Senate, Republican House, there's not going to be a whole lot that gets done in terms of big picture legislation. No.
All right, gentlemen, we really appreciate it. You guys have helped us out all throughout the campaign. It's very nice of you to do it. Thank you very much. Impact segment tonight, Charles Krauthammer making a rare appearance here in New York City, the city of his birth. So I can't predict this thing, can you?
No. And nobody can because there are too many coin flips. So if you're pretending that you know which way they're going to go, what you can do is to say, if her advantage, Hillary's advantage in the popular vote is 4%, which is the RCP, roughly the RCP average, it's in the Fox poll, at that point it's hard to imagine that you lose the electoral vote. That's a pretty big margin. Now, a lot of it, of course, is wasted for Democrats in New York, California, etc. Right. Someone says about 3%. Still, it's hard to see how you lose the election.
If people don't come home, there's a difference between answering a poll question and going out to the polls.
Right.
I mean, let me ask you some question. You and I have known each other for a long time, and the whole thing disturbed me. This whole election cycle, everything about it. I didn't think this was classy. I don't think either of the candidates understood what a president of the United States should be. I don't think either one of them do. Okay? My opinion, I could be wrong. Do you think Hillary Clinton is a corrupt woman? Do you think she is corrupt?
I do think she is, and she and her husband. Well, I mean, you're asking about her soul. I don't know. But if you watch her operate, she and her husband operate, from the cattle futures way back 30 years ago to Whitewater, which, I don't know, was sort of sleazy. There's so much sleaze, there's so much unexplained, there's so much lying over those years. Look, Bill Sapphire called her a congenital liar.
The late Bill Sapphire, New York Times columnist.
A great columnist 20 years ago.
Right.
So he wasn't even aware of the next 20 years of lying.
So I think every American voter who's paying attention knows that Hillary Clinton, I'm not going to look into her soul either, has a very difficult time with ethics. Would that be fair?
Well, yes. I mean,
Okay.
look,
So every American voter knows that she is. You're going to give her power if she wins. Vast power, almost unlimited, most powerful person in the world, and she's ethically challenged.
Look,
that
Bill,
disturbs me.
a lot of our presidents, probably a good number, I won't say a majority, of our politicians are ethically challenged.
But not
So this
that we
is
don't
not-
know it. That we
We don't
know this.
How about Richard Nixon, who was a good president in many ways, or he did the right
They
thing?
didn't know he
in
was
many
ethically
ways.
challenged when they
Well,
elected him
yeah,
because
but
he
it-
was VP under Eisenhower, didn't do anything.
But look, we're not 9 years old. We know we've had presidents ethically challenged going way back to the beginning of the Republic. So to me, that is not sui generis. It's not shocking.
You are not upset by it? See,
I would not support her. I would vote for her for that reason.
but see, I'm
But
generally
you're
upset.
upset.
Yeah,
You're
I
upset.
don't want
What about her husband? Did he upset you?
sometimes. Absolutely.
You think he's
Sometimes.
less corrupt than she is?
Do I think she's less corrupt?
Do you think he was less corrupt than she
No,
is?
I think they're partners in corruption.
And
I'll
you
point
survived
to-
the 8 years.
I'll point to the Clinton Foundation because I have a foundation, all right? And I know this world, and I know how it goes. This foundation, this Clinton Foundation, this is corrupt from the jump. From the jump, all right? This was designed to help them primarily.
Look, I'm not denying any of that.
No, but it
And
upsets me. Now, let's get to Trump. You've never been a Trump fan. Every time Trump calls me, he yells about you. But I don't see, other than behavioral problems that a billionaire has, all right? I can't tell you that Donald Trump is corrupt. I can't tell you that, all right? I don't know. I haven't studied his business model, but he's never been indicted for anything. He's never been charged with anything. And he's in the most rough and tumble industry you could possibly be in, real estate and gambling, all right? So I'm not... People are saying he's so much worse than Hillary Clinton, and I'm going, on what level? And I'm not supporting Trump or Hillary. I'm just asking questions.
Look, it's an odd way to rate someone to say that in the one aspect in his opponent, corruption, he might be better. Because I could turn it around on you and say, well, she is competent, she is knowledgeable, she knows a lot of things, she's been involved in policy, and in a way that would put him to shame.
And then I could turn it
So
around.
each
Wait,
of them-
wait. I could turn it
hold on.
around on you and say she was ineffective as Secretary of State. She mucked up the Middle East in a way that I've never seen anything mucked up. Her and the president, all right? And while she was Senator of New York, she didn't do jack other than to get money in here for 9/11. Upstate New York is a disaster. She didn't do anything for them at all. So I could turn that around on you.
Look, the point is, she was a politician. I agree with everything you wrote. You said, I've written that, about her foreign policy is a disaster. I think I was ahead of the pack on that. And I look back on her 8 years. I look back on her 8 years in the Senate as well. And the accomplishments are not there.
Right.
In fact, I remember writing about a year ago and saying, people say what a great Secretary of State she was. Name me.
What? Give me something. Give me anything.
I agree with you. I think I said it on this.
I had two experts.
But the point is
Go ahead.
that to say that she is not the candidate I would choose for the presidency is not to make the case for Donald Trump. He has deficiencies in knowledge, in temperament, in lack of policy that you can't point to her. She has things she brings. He has things he brings. I don't think either should be president. And I recommended that President Obama should issue an executive order to establish showers in the voting booths so that when you leave,
I'm optimistic.
you feel cleansed.
I'm praying for the country, but I'm not going to. I don't think, and I disagree with you on this, and I got to go. 75% of the voters on Wednesday, no matter who wins, going to feel uneasy. They're going to feel uneasy.
It'll be higher than that.
Yeah. Charles Grodin, everybody. Directly ahead, Chris Wallace on whether America will remain divided after the vote tomorrow and what can be done about it. Then we'll take you live to rallies. Trump and Clinton both speaking at this hour. Not going to dwell on it, but we'll show you what's happening in Philadelphia and New Hampshire moments away. Personal story segment tonight. One of the journalists deeply involved in the campaign of 2016, Chris Wallace, who, as you know, moderated the last debate. On Sunday, there was an interesting exchange between Wallace and Governor Pence.
Can you guarantee that if there is a clear winner on election night, and if, and I repeat if, I know you're going to say, well, he's going to win, but if Donald Trump should be the loser, can you guarantee that he will concede to Hillary Clinton and accept the result of the election and the judgment of the American people?
Yeah, the campaign's made it very clear that, you know, a clear outcome, obviously both sides will accept. But I think both campaigns have also been very clear that, you know, in the event of disputed results, they reserve all legal rights and remedies.
I thought the governor's answer was pretty good. You know, if there's some kind of thing that's obviously not right, sure, you'd challenge if you were Hillary or if you were Trump. But I'm going to continue the conversation I had with Crowdhammer with you. You just interchange, you guys. I'm not feeling good about this, you know, as an American, not just as a factor guy. And I don't believe most of the Americans are.
I mean, completely agree with you. And that's one of the reasons, and some people criticize me for asking this question again, which I asked in the debate, is because the country is so divided. It's been such a negative election, such a dispiriting campaign. And I just want whoever wins, and it could be Trump, and especially whoever loses, to concede graciously and say that what unites us is bigger. And I don't think people feel that way, but what unites us is more important than what divides us.
Well, you can't predict how Trump's going to act because he's a wild card. Hillary Clinton, if she loses, will concede.
Right.
Mean, she's a machine thing. But it goes beyond that. It goes beyond. On Wednesday, no matter who wins, you know, Americans aren't going to be dancing in the streets. It's not going to be, I like Ike, let's say it again and again. It's not going to be like that. Now, Trump has his supporters who really love him, but they're basically wanting to return to an America they once knew. That's what Trump's appeal is. Hillary, I don't know what her appeal is. I really, and this is not a personal slap at Mrs. Clinton, even though she lied to us here, but I wasn't expecting her to tell the truth, I have to tell you, that she would come in for an interview. You did the last interview with her, you know that, right? The last national interview was you.
Is that
of anybody? Yeah, of anybody. She didn't talk to anyone.
And that was July 31st.
Well, she hated you so much that was the end. No, I think she did something in September.
Up for everybody, yeah.
She did something in September, but she didn't have any use for you. She doesn't have any use for me. She's queen. She's imperious. And I'm saying to myself, look, even if you agree with the liberal line, Democratic line, it's her. It's her. And you know, I mean, are we going to be jumping up and down? We're not going to be jumping up and down.
No, we're not going to be. And even, you know, you were saying about Ike, even Obama, when Obama came in, people, I think, even if you voted against him, and a lot of people, I think, subsequently have been disappointed in his presidency, but there was a sense of excitement.
70%. That was a poll, supported him after he got, and I was one of them.
And
give him a chance. He won fair and square. He beat McCain
and there
fair
was
and square.
a great statement that an African-American had been elected president of the United States. No, this is different. I mean, even though she'll be the first woman, it's different. There are a lot of people, and she's earned it, the enmity or the suspicions of a lot of people. There's no question about it.
Right.
But on the other hand, and I said this earlier today, that when I hear Jason Chaffetz say, we're going to begin investigations right away, and when I hear John McCain say, and we're going to block her Supreme Court nominees for the next 4 years, I hate that. I mean, we got to go on as a country. I know that if she wins, there are going to be a lot of people unhappy. If he wins, there are going to be a lot of people unhappy. We got problems to solve, and we can't just stay in this politics and
But surely you understand that traditional conservative Americans do not want another liberal Supreme Court justice who doesn't give a fig about the Constitution and is going to legislate from the bench.
But wait a minute. All those Republicans who said we're not going to confirm Merrick Garland because we want the people to have their say, right? Mm-hmm. Well, if she's the winner, then the people have had their say. They need, I mean, obviously, if it's a crazy person, you're not going to confirm him. But if it's a solid person, and yes, of the liberal persuasion, she won.
Depends. It depends how, if it's another Sotomayor who doesn't care a whit about the Constitution and simply wants to legislate her political
But are you
beliefs.
comfortable with John McCain saying, I don't care who it is, sight unseen, I'm going to block anybody for 4 years?
I'm not comfortable with that. And I think you're right. You have to vet the person. But if it's somebody who's going to keep this country going down the road of you can kill a baby up to 5 minutes before it's born, that's serious business. And we're in serious business.
Listen, I asked that question in the debate about late-term partial birth
and Hillary
abortion.
Clinton's fine with it.
She's certainly not opposed to it.
No. She's fine with it if it impacts a woman's health in any way, shape, or form. And my head snapped back when she said that. I said, what kind of country is this now?
She also says that a fetus has no constitutional rights.
Right.
None.
And so Hillary now is not only a queen, she's God. That's why on Wednesday, I think so many people are going to be so unsettled. Chris Wallace, everybody, you'll be with the election team.
I will.
In
the space
in the new space capsule we have. It may take off, and then we'd miss them all. Continue now with our election preview. Here with us, Bret Baier, along with Kelly, Hammer, McCallum, a cast of thousands will be delivering the election results tomorrow night. So I want to set this up. Right now, there are rallies going on in Philadelphia. You got that's Bruce Springsteen. You know, if I'm going for the minority vote, I don't know if I'm bringing the Boss and Bon Jovi out. You know, I would have had the OJs. There's Philadelphia guys. They can do a little Love Train. That's who I would have had if I'm going out with the minorities. All right, Bruce is great. Okay, fine. Jersey's going to vote for Clinton. Pence, he's setting up Trump, okay, in New Hampshire, where they think they have a shot. So it's very strange stuff going on right now, all right? You got Hillary Clinton doing a midnight rally in Raleigh, North Carolina. Now, I know she doesn't want to do that, but she feels she has to.
Where they have been traveling, Bill, is a huge indicator about where these campaigns feel, number one, they want to attack, or number two, they want to defend. I think the early vote in North Carolina was really disappointing to the Clinton folks and really encouraging for the Trump folks. In Michigan, it's a lot tighter than anybody thought it was going to be. And the fact that Hillary Clinton and President Obama are in Michigan at the end of the race,
right?
I mean, who would have predicted that?
No one. So you believe that this is an indicator because each campaign has its own internal polling. And we don't have, I don't know, you might. Did you get any
No, not internal, but we talked to some folks who thought that there was a slippage. And
who are those folks?
You know, Democrats who are tied in.
So you talked to some campaign people?
Sure.
And they said we're slipping in Michigan and we're slipping in North Carolina?
Yeah, I mean, the party has all kinds of different polls that they run, internals, and they saw some slippage after the Comey letter. And then I think over the last 2 days, they've seen an increase on the national polls, and they feel a little bit more encouraged from the Democratic point of view. I do think some of these state polls are really tight, and the upside is in Nevada. They have good anecdotal stuff on the Clinton side about Hispanic turnout.
Yeah.
They have some good Hispanic numbers in South Florida, but it's tight.
What about this phantom army of Trump voters who never interact with the pollsters and they live in the woods and they have bazookas?
Yeah.
Are they going to... Do these people exist, number one? Because that's all I hear from the Trump people is this army of people who don't get involved with anything establishment, going to come out for their guy.
So traditionally, the average of polls as we get to Election Day is only off like 2 points at the most. Mm-hmm. At the upside, it's like 3.5. That's why, a lot of the longtime political watchers say it's tough to see that imaginary, whatever that vote is, that is underneath the polls. I will say in Michigan, if you look back to the primary, Hillary Clinton was up double digits heading into Michigan, and Bernie Sanders ended up winning there. So that was something that the polls didn't pick up.
They're not thrilled with Hillary in Michigan. So it's conceivable, and this happened with Gore and Bush the Younger, that Hillary could win the popular vote and lose the electoral vote if if these people, this army of people who like him and want to change and want Washington discombobulated, come out and vote for him. But again, we can't calibrate that. So you hang in there for a second. Is that all right?
Yeah.
You can adjust your pocket hanky. Looking very
fantastic.
dapper.
Thank you very much.
And then we'll see what we have. You guys don't want to see Bruce, do you? Bruce Springsteen, you want to see him? Born in the USA, Glory Days. You already know that. We don't need to see him, do we? Well, we're going to go there if somebody starts to talk. And then if Trump comes out in New Hampshire, we'll go up there just for a little while. Also, Waters is hanging with the folks in Times Square. That could be dismal. The Factor's coming right back. Campaign 2016 segment continues. Hillary Clinton has a major event underway in Philadelphia, as we mentioned, with her husband, the former president, the first lady, and the current president. Who is that guy? Oh, I remember him. Now, raise your hand if you want to hear any of Bill Clinton. Come on, raise your hand. All right, let's give him a minute. Go.
one more time to form a more perfect union. It will be because we're losing our great president to term limits. It will be a change election, and we have to decide, are we going to change forward, together, or backward? I think you know what the answer is going to be, and I think that all of us owe a great debt of gratitude to the president, to the first lady, to the administration of Barack Obama. I loved it when he said at the Democratic Convention in Philadelphia.
Back to me. All right, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. That just happened. Technical difficult. I know these left-wing webs. Oh, they pull Reilly, pull a plug on him. It was boring anyway, with all due respect. We'd like to take you to New Hampshire. There's Bear. He's here with me. We'd like to take you to New Hampshire, but do we have a shot of New Hampshire? Put the shot up there of New Hampshire. There it is. That's what excitement is. Nothing but lasers. All right, Pence was up there. He got bored. He left. We don't know where Trump is. He's going to show up. Oh, whoa, look at that. Strobe light alert. So you want me to take you out there? There's nothing happening. So let's listen to Barry. He's more interesting. Okay. So
well, two things.
Yes.
One is listen to former President Clinton talk about a change candidate. He did that in the Democratic convention as well. To paint Hillary Clinton as the change candidate after President Obama is pretty interesting. And he's trying to make that sale that, you know, they understand that there's a lot of push about change to change a lot of things.
So let me get this straight. You actually listened to what he was saying?
I did. Before you pulled the plug.
I keep going, why is Bon Jovi trying to get out the minority vote? That's what I can't. All right. Look, you know, and I know, this is all BS. The whole thing is BS. They're just running around trying to jazz people up. But people aren't jazzed up. The Trump people are. The people who really like Donald Trump, really want him, they're excited. But the Hillary Clinton people, they're going to vote for her, I think. But I don't think they're excited about it. Do you?
Well, I think you're right. The enthusiasm numbers are down, but the Hillary Clinton campaign uses Donald Trump as a foil and says, how can you let this person be president? That's their sale. And then she's trying to close on an optimistic message, stronger together, coming together as a country. Now, she spent the primary, obviously, competing with Bernie Sanders on the left side of the ideological spectrum.
Hillary Clinton does not believe that she's going to reunite the country, all right? She doesn't believe it.
Well, I will say this. If she is elected and it is a Republican Senate and a Republican House.
And you believe that may be possible.
And that is possible.
Yes,
I think
that's what's going to happen.
Could win, and maybe 51-49. It might be tied. And you've got a number of Democrats up in 2 years in red states. So you'll have some Democrats who are afraid to go too far left in the Senate, and so she'll have to figure out how to thread the needle if she wins the presidency.
Yeah, this is what I love about Bear. He really takes this stuff seriously. He's like thinks about it all the time, and that's why you're anchoring the election coverage, and I'm going to be out selling pretzels in front of the building. We're talking about selling pretzels, and we appreciate you coming in.
Sure.
Back in the big segment tonight, Waters World. Let's go right to Times Square, New York City, where Waters has been talking to the folks about the big vote. Everything calm out there, Waters?
It's never calm when I'm involved, O'Reilly. It's absolute craziness out here. But I've been here all day working overtime for you and for the folks, and I talked to a lot of people about if they're going to vote tomorrow and who and why they're voting for each person. So we have it right here for you. Check this out. So what are you going to do tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'm going to vote.
Probably make some dinner, rice and beans, steak.
I like it medium rare.
Voting!
Yes.
Hello!
What are you guys going to do tomorrow?
Vote for Trump.
I'm going to vote for Hillary Clinton.
I'm not sure who I'm going to vote for, but I'm going to vote, certainly.
The election is tomorrow, and you're undecided? Who are you going to vote for?
Unfortunately, I'm going to vote for Hillary Clinton.
A ringing endorsement.
I go with Trump because of Benghazi and everything else that she's done wrong.
Clinton.
Why do you like Clinton?
Well, she's a grown-up.
Do mature people set up private servers in their basement?
Now, she might have messed up with that one.
Who are you going to vote for?
I'll vote for Trump.
Where are you from?
North Carolina.
Ooh, swing state.
Yes.
And you voted already?
I voted for Hillary Clinton.
Who are you going to vote for?
I already voted for Trump in early voting.
Yeah, he's going to tell you this and this and that, but it doesn't mean he's going to actually do what he got to do for us. So I'm going to go with her.
You don't trust what Trump says, but you trust what Hillary says?
You got me with that.
What policy of Donald Trump do you like?
I think he can afford America's debt.
What policy of Trump's do you really like?
Building up the military, getting some of our corporations back here after NAFTA.
Honestly, I like the wall.
Who's going to pay for the wall?
Mexico.
Why do you like Hillary?
Her stance on abortion. Equal pay for women.
What about Donald Trump do you dislike?
I think he's crass. So disrespectful. I will vote for a strong woman over a misogynistic male any day.
What do you think about having Bill Clinton back in the White House? Hillary doesn't look too strong. She was just fainting the other day.
You know, we all have our moments. I have a 1-year-old, and some days I feel like slouching over, and I'm not on the campaign trail.
Do you know who I am?
No.
I'm Waters, and this is my world.
Hi, world.
All right, Waters in Times Square.
All right, so we are live in Times Square. Now, first, before we get started, what are the 2 rules I said about this interview?
Oh, God. You said no nudity and no curse words.
Okay, do you have that straight?
Yes, Whoopi. I mean...
Okay, all right. Listen, I'll make fun of you. Don't do it to me. Now,
okay, now.
Big night tomorrow.
Yes.
Who are you going to vote for?
Who am I going to vote for? I'm going to vote for her.
You're with her?
With her, all the way.
Why do you like Hillary?
Anyone but Trump.
So you're an anti-Trump person?
Not anti. I said anyone but Trump.
Okay, so you'd vote for me?
I would vote. If you got yourself on the ballot, I would vote for you.
Okay, don't get the wrong idea.
I'm not getting the wrong idea, but your hand on my shoulder is telling me something different.
Okay, let's go to the next person here. Now we have Samantha over here. I found beautiful Samantha out here rolling around. Who are you voting for tomorrow?
I am voting for Donald Trump tomorrow.
Oh. Why do you like Trump?
I'm a firm believer that America needs change, and he is the change that we need.
Okay, and what policy do you like from Donald Trump?
What policy? More jobs.
More jobs?
More jobs.
You want more jobs?
I think that more jobs is better, yes.
Okay, you're a jobs person.
I am. I have a job, yes.
All right, jobs are very important. Samantha, behave yourself. Thank you very much. All right, now, my man over here. I like the hair, by the way.
Good looks, thanks.
Okay, now, who are you voting for?
Hillary for president,
man.
you know?
We got Hillary, man. Why do you like Hillary? You look smarter than that.
Nah, we need someone experienced in politics, not just business.
Hello.
Okay? This is the matter of life and death, basically. We have people's lives in our hands here.
Are you voting for Hillary just because she's a woman?
That's one of the reasons.
Oh, that's sexist.
No.
That's sexist.
No. That's one of the only reason why that she being a woman matters, that she should be president, is because we never had a female president before. And I have a daughter. I want her to know that it's possible.
Okay.
You know? But other than that, being that she's a woman, it doesn't matter. I'm more into what she believes in and what I think that she can do.
I just think you're voting for Hillary because you guys have the same earrings.
No.
Bill, here we are,
Waters.
Times Square.
Very good.
All right.
Yeah. You can't come back until 4 in the morning. All right? You got to stay out there. All right, back to me. A quick reminder, Waters is joining Miller and me for the Spin Stops Here live shows in 2017. You saw a bit of that. You're going to see it in Tulsa, Reading, Pennsylvania, Omaha, Nebraska, Tacoma, Washington, Westbury, Long Island. Tickets going fast and make great gifts. Check it all out on BillO'Reilly.com. Fact or tip of the day, what your patriotic duty is tomorrow night. The tip, moments away. Fact or tip of the day, what is your obligation tomorrow evening? In a moment. But first, our friends at Barnes & Noble report Killing a Rising Sun, once again, their best-selling nonfiction book throughout the country after almost 2 months in the marketplace. Rising Sun on track to sell 2 million copies, and there's a reason why. Book's a very entertaining read, and you'll learn a lot. It's also making great gifts for people. And if you want me to sign a book for you, go to BillO'Reilly.com and I'll do it. Now, the mail Annette Snodgrass of Villages, Florida. Bill, why would you put 2 Democratic senators on in states Donald Trump needs to win? Where is the fair and balance? You're joshing me, right, Annette? Sunday night, did you not notice the Republican governor of North Carolina and Sarah Palin on the program? Then we brought on the governor of Colorado, a Democrat, and a senator from Delaware. So by my calculations, 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, fair and balanced. Bob Lebsenson, Las Vegas. O'Reilly, your claim that you are fair doesn't fool anyone. Stop being a fraud and endorse Trump. Julia Ricker, Naples, Florida. O'Reilly, you are the fairest commentator of this election cycle. Thank you. Well, you're welcome, Julia. Kenneth Riolo, Grand Island, Florida. I'm angry at those who do not vote. Not voting dishonors the memory of all who died defending this country. Did you know that in Australia, you're legally required by law, redundant, to go to the polls on Election Day, Ken? You don't have to vote, but you have to show up. Donna Williams, Lincoln, California. Bill, it may be my imagination, but lately you've been a little prickly toward your guests. My husband says you've always been that way, and that's why he likes you. Consistency is the hallmark of a professional, Donna. Bernard Goldberg, Miami, Florida. Bill, I made a sloppy mistake on the factor last night. I said 570 electoral votes are needed to win a presidency when the number is 270. I'm really mad at myself. Not a problem, Bernie. Nobody was listening to you. Just a jest. We love you, Goldberg. Robert Kulik, Grapevine, Texas. O'Reilly, thanks for signing Killing the Rising Sun for my 95-year-old father. He loved it. We are celebrating my mom and dad's 65th wedding anniversary. Excellent, Bob. Also celebrating today, Harry Taylor in Missouri, 103 years old. Way to go, Harry. And finally tonight, the factor tip of the day. It goes without saying that loyal Americans should vote if you love your country, but millions of us don't. There's really no excuse. You either respect America or you don't. But what about watching the election returns? Is that necessary? I say yes, especially for younger Americans, to understand how different your country is. Folks in New England, for example, vote differently than folks in the South. And there is a reason for that. On this network, you'll get that reason and other interesting election nuggets from our brand new studio and the best commentators in the business tomorrow night. So here's the tip of the day. Patriots must vote. And people sincerely interested in their country